Well, good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another installment of Late Night with Uncle Fran. The time is currently 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'm sure many of you have been tuning in to the Olympic Winter Games this year. What a spectacular display of human achievement. I myself have enjoyed watching the skiers, snowboarders. I particularly enjoyed watching that one lady, Lindsey Vonn, as she snapped her leg into the side of her head and got paralifted off of that mountain. What a daring stunt. She may lose that leg. But anyways, enough of her problems. Let's get to yours. Here's this week's installment of Dear Uncle Fran. Alrighty. This week's theme is fear. To begin, we have Rodney, age 54, who lives in Sacramento, California. He writes, Dear Uncle Fran, I have a great fear of the ocean, but I live in California. What do I do? Signed, Rodney. Well, hello, little Rodney, you frail little man. Your fear of the water is ridiculous considering your whereabouts. You know, it is a free country. You could move, Rodney, if you had any sense of manhood and protection over your kin. But you are weak and you are small, and you sit there in Sacramento, California, and you just watch the waves wash over the sand and think, oh no, it's going to come after me. Oh, I'd be more afraid of fire if I were you, Rodney. There's some great fires in that part of the state. But no, you fear the deterrent of fire, water. What a backwards young man you are. I have no advice to give to weak little minds like yourself. You can go on and maybe take a dip in the pool, get used to the water, try and go to the ocean, but let's be real here. You are only going to disappoint yourself and those you love. So anyways, keep your head up, Rodney. I'm sure it'll all get better soon. Good luck to you, young man. Alrighty. Next up, we have Lily, age 7, from Philly. Oh, isn't that silly? Anyways, Dear Uncle Fran, I am scared of spiders, and they are always in my room. How can I get past this fear and conquer the spiders? Well, hello, sweet little Lily, yes. Look at you with more bravery than that weak little Rodney that I just spoke to a second ago. You have a resolve to change, and you want to conquer the spiders, which is exactly the attitude you should have. What I suggest you do, Lily, is go into your room and make it dark, make it quiet. The spiders like to come out when the room is in this atmosphere. You gather them, you make them think you're their friend. You put your hand out, they crawl upon you. I know this might sound scary at first, but trust me, it'll all pay off. You tell them, oh, little spiders, I am one with you. I am your mother, and you're here in my home, and we are kin. When the spiders are calm and sitting on your hand, you smack one, smush it to death, scare the others. They go, what was that? Did our queen just get splattered? Then what you do is you pull out a bottle of water, and as the others scurry away, you pour water upon them. This will inhibit their movement. Start picking them apart one by one. Pull their legs from their silly little bodies. Make a pile of their legs and show them. Say, look, your legs, they are there. Lily, this will assert your dominance over the spiders. You will become the spider queen, and they will have no choice but to respect you. They will do your bidding and become your little spider slaves. That is how nature works. Good luck to you, little Lily. I'm sure this will be of benefit to your young mind. God bless. Okay, and finally, we have Blake, age 23, from Wyoming. He writes, Dear Uncle Fran, my biggest fear is committing in my adult relationship. How can I overcome it? Signed, Blake. Hello, little Blake. Don't overcome this fear. It is valid. Love is a farce, and relationships are traps. Run as fast and as far as you can. Good luck to you, young man, and God bless. Alrighty, that's going to do it for the letters tonight. Now it's time to move on to my favorite part of the show. Let's go talk with my good friend, Bert. Alrighty, welcome back to the show, Bert.
Oh, hey, Fran.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, look at that. You shaved that hideous mustache off your
Yes.
face.
Well, I don't know about hideous, but yes. Well, it wasn't. I was kind of forced to. Yes.
Really? By my incessant insults and comparisons to criminals, or
No, I caused a lockdown. Yes,
what?
yes. It's actually at a elementary school.
What?
Yeah,
Bert, I thought you weren't allowed within 50 feet of an elementary school.
only certain schools. But it was funny. So Jason, my son,
Of course, yeah.
he he found out that he was not mine, and I haven't spoken to him since. And it's really upsetting because I really I like to see my grandchildren, and him I could care less about,
Mm,
um
it's the way to do it.
but his children, my grandchildren, I love to see them, and I haven't seen them for weeks. I decided to go visit all of them at the elementary school.
All 37 of them you
Yeah,
visited?
38. Yes,
Really? There's
yes,
a new one.
most recent. Yes,
Wow.
even though this one is slightly foreign. Yeah,
Hmm.
so my youngest, he ended up marrying an Oriental, and so now we have yellow in the rainbow.
Well, that's pretty neat. That's
Yes,
cool.
yeah. But anyway, so I went to go visit um, my my grandchildren at the school. They have the little things where a couple grades go at a time and then they switch. I said, oh, okay, well, I'll get them right in between so I could hit both. I'll get a little bit before and a little bit after. I hit the younger kids first, and so they're on the play skate, and so I was like, oh, hey, they're all like, hey, Papa Bert. And I was like, what's up? What's up? Giving them high fives, gave them a couple candies, some suckers, some, Tootsie Rolls that were in my pocket. And they're, oh, yeah, Bert. And there's a little bit of like a time gap. And so now I was alone on the playground. Apparently, they had a longer lunch, and I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. So I was a little confused. So they were taking the second group, Jason's kids, they're taking longer. So I was a little
Hmm.
confused. So I started circling the school, and I would go classroom to classroom and just
Oh my
peeking,
God.
peeking the window. So
Might be scarring to a child if he saw that.
there's one child in particular that I couldn't, I think it was like soundproof windows, but like he made this face. And then all of a sudden, I looked down and I just saw darkness in his pants.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I think I scared him a little bit. I think I scared him a little bit too much. And that may or may not have been the reason why the lockdown was caused.
I would say there's a pretty solid chance that that was the reason, Bert. They probably thought you were like some intruder, maybe even a threat to the children.
Well, it might have been both. As I was chaperoning the first group of kids,
I wouldn't call that chaperoning, okay? Chaperones are volunteer parents that come and help support the children, their education. They're volunteers.
that's exactly what I am.
Hmm.
I'm I'm volunteering. I'm watching the children.
Well, it feels a little twisted coming from you, I'd say. Not as endearing.
I mean, some parents, they may argue that, well, two parents in particular, they may argue that it was a little less than endearing. But I'll tell you this, before anything comes out, it was the kid's fault.
What was the kid's fault, Bert? What did you do?
Everybody, all my grandchildren are playing. We're playing King the Castle on the rock wall. Yeah,
Bert, that is incredibly dangerous. You call yourself a
hush, hush,
chaperone. You're
hush,
watching the
hush.
kids push each other off the rock wall?
Yeah, but it's cool to see which one is the dominant one. And usually it is my grandchildren because I train them.
That is so sick and disturbing.
All of a sudden there was, they're climbing the rock wall, having a good time, and my grandson, he was on it. He was saying, "Yeah, I'm king of the castle," and this little gremlin, he takes him by the leg and pulls him down,
Oh no.
and so everybody was sitting there. Oh no, no! He was down on the ground. I went up to him. I was like, oh my god, are you okay?" And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. He scraped his knee a little bit. And I go, nobody scrapes your knee. Nobody. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. If you do it right away, it doesn't stick with him, right? It doesn't really
Yeah.
stick. It has to be delayed. So anyway, so they're going back into recess, and the bell rings, ba ding, ba ding, ba ding. Everyone's running in, and this kid, I was watching him the rest of the time. So he's running in, and he's ha ha ha, and I'm right behind him, and he's like ha ha ha, and
Oh my
I
goodness.
take my forearm to the back of his neck, and he kind of plunges forward, and he plunged forward into the brick wall,
Oh no.
and obviously he started crying, and it was funny because then my grandson looked at me. I was like, yeah, I got you. It ended up being a great victory.
Hmm. I suppose. I feel like every few weeks you come in here and sometimes you have a fun educational story like the one about Pinkalicious, and then every 3 or 4 episodes you talk about harming a child in some way. And I find that very problematic.
Yeah, but it wasn't my fault. I didn't start it. If he never scraped my grandson's knee, then he would not have lost four of his front teeth.
Bert, why don't you teach your grandchildren to just defend themselves? Why do you have to fight their battles?
No, 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 no. I do teach them to fight their battles, but this one I was present for. I have a very strict training routine.
Really?
Yes, so I sit there and I go in the basement and I line them up. All right, one after the other. Everybody stand in a line and say, "Oh, single file line, everybody." And then I sit there. I sit there at the front of the line and I go on my knees and I say, "Okay, the first one to push me over gets a rifle to take home."
Sweet Jesus.
So I stand there and the first one goes, usually weak because that's the first one. I go, pussy. And then after that, I insult them. Each one. Creative insult, I just switch it up. And I say, oh, look at you, unibrow. Look at you, four eyes. I just insult them. And they get angry. And I was like, okay, now it's working. And I do it over and over and over again. Until one of them, they finally get angry enough. They push me down. They go, F you, old man. F you. And that's when I know I go, you're ready. You're ready. That's stage one. Stage two is now hitting me hard enough. I go, okay, all right, try me, try me. I hold up my hands. Okay, you gotta hit it, gotta hit it. Okay, first one goes dodge, weave, dodge, weave, dodge, weave, and then they go, whoa, whoa. They're all like, whoa.
Just hitting the children?
They learn. That's how they learn.
My goodness.
So eventually they get real good at it. So I go dodge, weave, and they go dodge, weave. And they hit me. I go, that's right. That is right. They don't lose fights at school, Fran.
Sweet mother of Moses, Bert.
Do you want to be involved in my training routine?
I don't know, to be honest. I think I have a dark spot on my pants now after hearing that. My.
Good. That's step one. So, anyway, so court date next week.